All right, look, for real, this is it right now. I'm putting my reputation on the line. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. It might be ridiculous, but I'm telling you right now, there's never been any other analyst. I haven't seen any other YouTuber. Nobody that's crunching numbers in cryptocurrency has experienced this confirmation. I've been screaming on the internet, altcoin season, altcoin season, altcoin season, and I got my confirmation. I dove for the last 8 hours into the cycles of the market, and a super cycle is arising before your eyes. Dates are lining up, news events lining up, cycles of money lining up. This is the most important event in cryptocurrency for the innovation of altcoins and the decentralization of the internet. Keep watching. What's going on, everybody? Alex back with another cryptocurrency video.
Another one.
The most important videos I'll ever create, because we've been trying to anticipate this run for a very long time. Maybe you made some money with Bitcoin. Maybe you made some money with altcoins early on, about a year and a half ago when I first started yelling them. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to go on another yelling spree. I've been looking into data science models. I've been using my cycle trading strategy to watch where the flows of money are going, all the way back to the first altcoin season. And basically all the data we have known to man, I have taken it into consideration, and I see things lining up, a lot of similarities to one of the previous altcoin seasons. So what I did is I took the averages of these similarities and I predicted an altcoin cycle. Now, the results are kind of crazy, and I've been saying this from a technical analysis perspective, from the fundamental analysis perspective, but this right here is aligning everything together in one video. If you appreciate this extremely high quality information and the fact that I give you guys unbiased research, because we do not accept sponsorships, and I am the most hardworking, honest YouTuber on the internet, do us both a favor and hit that subscribe button as well as the push notification bell. I talk about cryptocurrency, entrepreneurship, and how to make money on the internet. This is not financial advice, but sometimes I dive deep, and this is one of those videos you need to watch. So tell your friend or something, or tell your mom, because it's time to make some money. Just remember, guys, this is called cycle trading. We made this, I pioneered cycle trading. This is all theory, right? So don't take it too serious, but if you look at it for long enough, you can definitely tell where the gains are made. So I'm gonna jump into the screen and I'll show you guys specifics, and it'll all start to make sense. All right, guys, so I'm gonna get very specific. I need you to pay attention. I'm gonna be diving into index charts as well as dominance charts. So I'm gonna explain them in great detail so that you guys understand where I'm coming from. And basically, again, you could see where the money is flowing. So what we're looking at here is the top 100 altcoins versus Bitcoin dominance, okay? Now, the reason why this is important is because when the chart goes up, right, when we're going green, the top 100 altcoins are doing better than Bitcoin. And then when we go down, Bitcoin's doing better than the top 100 altcoins. So we can draw some conclusions here, and we can look at, again, like I said, the history, right? Look how far back it goes, right? Since 2014. We can look at the history of what happened before. And of course, it doesn't always give you the exact answer, but it rhymes. Usually history will rhyme and it will play out similar to what it did before. So it's very interesting to look at this information, especially when you pair it with a couple of other charts like the total and the BLX, which I'll explain, of course. But I'm going to draw the vast majority of my starting point. My starting point is going to be drawn from this chart here, because it kind of shows the big altcoin seasons. As you can see here, this was kind of like a mini altcoin season. We jumped up 188%. So the top 100 altcoins did 188% better than Bitcoin dominance, right? And then we saw another one jump up 834%. Now look at the times, right? So you could also see there's a couple of conclusions that I saw here, right? So the first thing is, once we broke out of this ascending triangle, once we broke out of it, you could see that it took approximately 115 days to actually break out to an altcoin season, right? So what we're experiencing now, as you can see from over here, kind of the same thing. We just broke out. So there's a certain amount of days, and you can see the prediction here, but let me explain the prediction before I jump into it, right? So clearly, right, we broke out, then we kind of made some support here, and then we had this big parabolic swing, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for these massive leaps, right? These massive leaps and bounds. Now, we saw something very similar here, and obviously some of this is incomplete data, but we know at this day, we had a spike in altcoin, in top 100 altcoins in comparison to Bitcoin. So again, we have a certain amount of time, 73 days. This one took 112 days. And this one increased by 834% in 78 days. You might want to notice something. So I'm going to basically predict altcoin season, the intensity of altcoin season, when it's going to happen, how high it's going to go. That's the purpose of this video, right? And then I'm going to align and give you guys evidence from other dominance charts, as well as the psychology of the market. We're going to actually look into news. Trust me, I dove deep on this video. Again, if you appreciate that, smash the like button and share this with somebody that needs to see it, because like I said, nobody else is doing this specifically. I've not seen one other YouTuber dive this deep into the altcoin super cycle, right? So again, I averaged these out and I drew a little bit of a prediction here. So we break out, we make some support, which it looks like we are, right? It looks like we're making support. And then it can approximately, if you take the average of the last two altcoin cycles, take 131 days to actually play out, which is a fairly long period of time. And then it can go up potentially 465% if you take the average of the last two leaps, right? Look, 834, 188%. So that's an average. Now, just understand something, right? There's a lot more room in altcoins now because Bitcoin's very expensive. So typically you could see that there was a more aggressive spike. You know, it's 188% versus 834%. It's almost, you know, what, 5 times bigger, 4 times bigger. This is 4 times bigger, a little bit more than 4 times. So personally, the way I look at it is as Bitcoin gets more expensive, remember, in the background, all these coins were going through innovation, right? Remember what Ethereum was back in the day. Now, remember what it is now. Now we have, for example, you know, NFTs, a full DeFi market, which is a specific market that's worth $90 billion. We actually have a use case this time. Last time, Ethereum was pure speculation. So it looks like this use case is adopting more people to altcoins for the simple fact that there's more innovation, more products, right, to be used, right? The killer app could be Yield, right? Yield could be the killer app. We don't know yet, but a lot of people are saying that's the killer app, right? So people are flocking to Ethereum a lot more, and some altcoins, ERC20 tokens, governance tokens, as well as, again, like we've talked about like recently what's happening right now, NFTs, right? Driving a lot of this hype. So you could clearly see altcoin season might be the opposite effect of the law of diminishing returns, right? Bitcoin, as it gets bigger and bigger, Bitcoin will get less gains over time. It's harder to move the price of Bitcoin the more money is invested into this whole entire, you know, market cap, right? So it seems like the inverse effect to altcoins because, again, first altcoin moon, right? 188%, 834%. Now, of course, all of this is theory, but I genuinely think, you know, if we play that out a little bit more, we could say we might see a double, right? So again, this is the conservative case. If you want to stay conservative, which by the way, the conservative numbers are ridiculous. And we're gonna piggyback this all the way to Ethereum's price for this video. And in future videos, we'll dive a little bit deeper because I could make a 6-hour video just on this topic right here, right? So we'll do, it's gonna be a couple of videos, like a series. So pay attention. This is the greatest altcoin story never told because nobody's done this, right? So the conservative prediction right here, 465%, maybe approximately 131 days. Also, something else that's interesting is how long it took for the altcoin season to really start. This one took 112 days. The first one took 112 days. The second one took 73 days. So you can come to the conclusion that maybe the altcoin season starts quicker than expected. Now, I'm going to really blow your mind because as you can see here, the BLX lines up as well. We actually rejected off of an all-time high around the same date. So if you look at, for example, right here, this date says February 28th, right? I'm going to pull up the BLX. The BLX is basically all the historical data of Bitcoin, pretty much everything Bitcoin specifically has when it comes to data. So it kind of dates back pretty far, right? And we can come to the same date and you can see, look, February 28th, right? It jumped all the way up to about this price point, which I put the arrow there because I tracked pretty much every historical event in the BLX, including in all the index charts, and they all line up. It's crazy. It's crazy. Up into, you know, May 17th, right? We have a 95% jump. And then shortly after, Bitcoin rejects off the all-time high. Now watch this, right? Because if we look at what's happening right now, actually, let me bring the BLX right back up. If we look at what's happening now, you can see that we just recently rejected off an all-time high with Bitcoin, right? Same thing. We rejected off this all-time high right here, and it looks like we're making our way kind of down when it comes to Bitcoin. Similar. right? We're rejecting potentially off this all-time high. And at the same exact time, right? If I pull up this chart, we go into a massive super cycle altcoin season. You guys see this? Look, February 28th, 2017, May 17th, 2017, right? So that right there is clearly showing that we rejected potentially at the top. That's another thing that's kind of aligning. But before we jump into like the specifics of Bitcoin, let's come back to altcoin season because I want to make a little prediction on how exaggerated it can be. So let's say hypothetically it does a 2x because if it did, almost a 200% jump here, 800% jump, it's a 4x. Let's just divide it by 2 and say a 2x to be conservative, right? That means we'll see approximately 1600% jump, right? So if we do something like that, right, it would be pretty big. It would be, I mean, the time will also change because if you look, for example, the time of how fast it grew, um, 78 days, and this one was only 10 days. So the time it takes to get there might be a lot longer with this exaggerated price prediction. Um, but it's just interesting to kind of just sit there and lay the numbers out, right? So let's say hypothetically, let's just bring this one up just for the simplicity's sake. It goes up 1600% and then takes double the amount of time of the last one, which is 78 days. Let's say 149, say 140, 150 days, whatever the case is. These are rough estimates, and then we go up 1600%, right? 1600% is around here. There you go. And then maybe the days we go out approximately 150. We can reasonably expect this massive jump here. Now, this probably doesn't mean anything to you, right? It doesn't mean, well, Alex, what are you talking about? Well, what you have to understand is at the same exact time, altcoins clearly gain the most, right? For example, if we look at Ethereum in the same exact amount of time went up 514%. And if we bring it back to the historical snapshot of when it started, Ethereum was the number 2 coin on CoinMarketCap. And what that basically means is that it's still in the number 2 spot. So we can reasonably expect that if it went up 514%, it might do the same or more multiples, right? Which is right now Ethereum's at $2,000, $10,000 Ethereum. This is where some price predictions are kind of lining up. And at that same time that Ethereum did the 5x, here's another conclusion I found, which is really interesting and very lucrative. If we take the total market cap, look at the same amount of time, you can see it increased about 119%. But if we take the total 2, this is the total market cap excluding BTC, we had a 1900% jump. So comparing the 1900% jump of all other altcoins in comparison to the top 100, because the top 100 jump was only, let's see, let's jump it back over here. Top 100 was 834%, and Ethereum specifically was only 514%. Compare. The story I'm trying to tell you here is that Ethereum increased in price, but altcoins got a lot more capital allocated to them. The altcoins were doing higher percentages, and the vast majority of the money that was injected into the market went into specifically altcoins, and like medium, high cap, maybe some low cap altcoins. So it's just really interesting to see, that pretty much line up. Now, let's talk about something else, because what is the catalyst to this? Like because we're trying to predict altcoin cycle, right? So how did it start last time? That's the big question. Like, what made the altcoin cycle start and continue? Well, it's actually pretty obvious. If we bring it back over to this original spot here, we can see the date. We talked about the 28th, but March 1st is actually specifically the date. Maybe we had some whales buy it up before the major news, but there was a big news. And what I did here is I took the same dates and I searched it on Google to see what news was prominent at that time. So this is where we're tapping into human psychology, right? And you can see specifically, and it's funny because I remember this moment, right? I was in Ethereum at this time. I just don't remember it this specific because I wasn't doing this type of research. You could see Enterprise Alliance formed by Microsoft, Intel, UBS, basically an Ethereum foundation, and they basically formed together to support the cryptocurrencies. That launch, once that launched, Ethereum did a 5x. I remember that. I remember like it was yesterday. So with this information, you could say, and it's like, it lines up like almost identically. Look, Ethereum popped off 5x, right? Not only that, we go to the top 100 altcoins. Look, March 1st, top 100 altcoins took off, right? that started that one, right? If we go to, for example, the total two lined up, look, total two, boom. If we look at the total, it doesn't increase as much. It was only 119% compared to the total two that increased, 1,906%. So a lot more money got injected to other things other than Bitcoin, if that makes sense, right? So, it's pretty crazy in my perspective. And it's also lining up the same dates with this rejection off the all-time high right here. If you guys see this rejection off the all-time high with Bitcoin, the same rejection off the all-time high that we might be having right now, right? You guys get what I'm saying. I hope it's lining up for you. I hope you understand what's going on. We could easily see a 5x in Ethereum, specifically, probably more. But altcoins are going to make us a lot of money. So I need you guys to pay attention. This is what you call cycle trading, watching the flows of money, pinpointing specific areas in the market. Guys, there's so much more evidence that I can draw from this and so many more predictions, but I think one more that I left out. As you can see here, 131 days, right? It took here, 73 days. Here, it took 112 days, right? So, I mean, I don't know if it's getting less or more, but it looks like it might be. This is actually, excuse me, this is not 148. This has nothing to do with it. I'm talking about the time period after the breakout of the channel. So after we broke out of this asymmetrical triangle, how long did it take for altcoin season to start, right? And you can see 112, 73, maybe it takes less. Maybe it takes less, maybe it takes more. Maybe it takes 50 days, right? Instead of 73, maybe this time it's 50. Maybe it's even less than that. All I know is that the Berlin hard fork is coming up. You guys all know that. I've been screaming about it on the internet all over. We have the hard fork in Ethereum. We have one of the biggest news events on planet Earth when it comes to specifically Coinbase public launching, right? And we have this lining up in a similar territory, right? Let's say hypothetically it takes less time, right? April 14th. April 14th. Maybe it's not the day of April 14th, but remember, the last time big institutions had some crazy news, it was the Ethereum Alliance. It shot up Ethereum, right? Ethereum 5x, and altcoins did a 1900% return. And of course, we're going to be making more videos about this, guys. You need to pay attention because, look, this was a 1900% jump in the total too. So Ethereum wasn't even the winner at that, right? I made money with Ethereum, but that wasn't the real winner. What altcoins were the winner? That's a topic for another video. That's it for this one. If you like the quality of this content, hit like. If you don't, leave some constructive criticism. Subscribe for more video updates. And like I always say, if you don't get with it, you will get left behind. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one. Alex here. Quick update, quick announcement. Guys, I have a new community number. So I got a second phone. You could directly text me. I'm answering all questions. My new phone number is 954-758-5473. Again, that's 954-758-5473. I'm answering all comments. Go ahead and text me now. Let's have a conversation.